Hello everyone, welcome to In the Dell. This is my weekend video stuff here. So now keep in mind the Chiefs are playing today, so I don't know what the outcome of the game is going to be by the time this uploads. So if they lost, I'm still taking it well. You don't have to come and check on me. If they won, then great. But if they lost, you don't have to check up on me. I'm okay. I'll be fine. It's just a game. A really good one, but I know it's going to be a good game irregardless. And I'm taking nothing from the Texans at all because I know they're a really good team. So it should be a great game. If the Texans beat us, hey, you know what? We lost to a good team. That's all I got to say, and then we move on. We won 2 in a row, 2 Super Bowls in a row. So, I mean, I can't, at this point, I can't really complain if we lost. I mean, we got pretty far and got home field advantage. And, hey, sometimes if we don't win, hey, it's not in the cards. So, it is what it is. But, so, that in mind, getting into this. So, Into the Dell introduction. Of course, I am Gail Odell. I do my questions of the day videos, my Missouri Day of History videos, which I'll be doing later on today. I do some taste test videos. Around Christmas time, I do some advent calendar videos. So there you go, a variety. Halloween, I do a Halloween advent calendar video. So there's a variety of things I do on my channel. And this is something that's new. It's called Into the Dell. So kicking things off, I was going to talk about the very thing that I said I was going to hesitate in talking about last week because I didn't know a whole lot about it. So I didn't feel comfortable talking about it. And since it was still ongoing at the moment and all that, I just like, you know what? Let's just take a breather and until I know everything. I don't know everything yet, but I know more than what I did last week. Let's say that. Of course, it's the fires in California, Los Angeles, right now, and this is all according to CNN throughout the week. But there's well over 100,000 residents with evacuation orders, or that had evacuation orders this week. There's a Palos Diaz fire. I hope I'm saying that right. If I didn't, I apologize. There's an Eaton fire, a Hearst fire, and I think there's one other one, but I think those are the big 3 that were going on last week. There's at least, at the time when I got this from the article, there were at least 24 deceased. There may be more now. It spread well over 37,000 acres, which it may be more now. Well over hundreds of people gathered at, I would say probably that might be in the thousands now, but they gathered at Santa Anita's racetrack donation center. California inmates were helping to battle the fire. There were over 900 inmates helping that out. Participants, the inmate participants would get $5.80 an hour to $10.24 an hour. Plus, they would get an extra $1 an hour from the California Fire. And they would receive 2 and 1 credits. In that they would get 2 additional days off of their sentence each day that they participate. So that's pretty cool. And support staff, I guess that are inmates, would get 1 credit for each day that they participated. So if they were the support staff, then they get 1 day off of their sentence each time. Still not bad. They're predicting some wind gusts throughout that week in California, so that's not necessarily helping out the fighting of that fire. Law enforcement was working to undercover to stop looters and illegal drones. So, of course, they're setting up, curfews, and some people weren't following those curfews. So, on purpose, because they want to try to steal shit. Governor Gavin Newsom deployed over, I think it was over 100. It was over 1,000. But it might have been right at 1,000. I don't know. But anyway, I would say over 1,000 service members with the National Guard to Los Angeles to help fight the fires and assist the public safety efforts. And like I said, this is all according to CNN, what I found on CNN. I think I said CNN. Yeah. Ukraine's President Zelensky, he said that his firefighters from his country were ready to come to California if needed. The fire agency investigated the Hearst fire because they were 3 separate fires. They said the Hearst fire was an electrical equipped fire, so something that had to do with electrical. Governor Newsom later said that all damaged buildings would be inspected within 14 days. Then Biden held a briefing with officials in California about the wildfires this week. Newsom suspended some environmental regulations to expedite rebuilding so they could rebuild faster. There were at least 29 arrests during the Eden and Palladices, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, fire. The crew, basically for curfew violations, concealed weapons, and narcotics, people were arrested by the LAPD. There were some people that were even arrested by the LAPD posing as firefighters to walk in and out of houses. Los Angeles officials, Mayor Karen Bass said there's no animosity or lack of communication between her and President-elect Trump. So Trump is well aware of what's going on when he gets into office. There's a search and rescue underway in California, of course, for anybody that was missing. $6 million was donated to recover efforts. I'm sure there's more than that now, but containment of the Hearst and there's the other one, the Kenneth fire, free. So they did contain those 2 fires, which freed resources for the Palladices fires, which I'm thinking is the bigger one. Now they're saying too, the Eaton fire is now one of the deadliest fires. It claimed at least 11 people. So I guess the Eaton fire would be the worst one after I said that. But said Canada, Mexico, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Idaho, Oregon, Washington were among the countries and states that helped fight this fire or fight these fires in California. And ATF investigation cause of the wildfire and pest. They're currently investigating the wildfire in Palladices. They have no idea what caused. Well, last I heard, they didn't know what caused it yet. And of course, they moved the playoff game of the LA Rams to Arizona at the time of these fires to kind of keep everybody safe. So, thoughts and prayers go out to them. It's got to be hard. Like I said, even if you're a celebrity, it doesn't matter who you are. This has got to be a tough time. So, my thoughts and prayers go out to all of them. And we had here at this house, I think I can talk about it now. I think it's safe. So I'll give you guys the update. Angela is on her way back at the moment. She was in Arkansas with her family. Her grandmother passed away this week. So that is the situation. I really couldn't say a whole lot until, I had to let the family do their thing first. They talked about it on social media that their grandmother passed away yesterday, finally. So I think now everybody's finally feeling okay to talk about it. So there's that. So my thoughts and prayers go out to them as well. It was especially tough on Angela because, well, I say it's tough on all of them. Don't get me wrong. Angela took it pretty hard, but like I said, this actually happened the day before her birthday. Her grandmother passed away the day before her birthday, so that's got to be tough. But yeah, we're going to try to celebrate her birthday a little bit tonight and maybe tomorrow or next weekend, possibly. We'll probably do more on her birthday next weekend, is what I'm thinking. We'll probably get a chance to get out and do stuff then. But yeah, pretty tough. So it's been a tough week. It's been a long week. So if you see my other videos, me talking like, yes, it's a long week. I can't wait for this week to be over, this work week, everything. That be the reason why. It's just been a stressful week for everybody, I think. And hopefully next week we can finally relax. 2025 has been hell here lately. And then Bob Uecker passed away too this week. That was a tough one to take too. I like Bob Uecker. I loved him in those baseball movies. Great guy, funny guy. He will be missed. But now going into this, so at least we have some good notes, some things to look forward to in the shopping department. That is right. We have now things to look out for at the grocery stores and other shops as well. First off, Skechers is teaming up with Snoop Dogg. So there will be a new Skechers shoe coming out very soon as they team up with Snoop Dogg. Of course, we already know that Walmart has teamed up with Snoop Dogg for a clothing line as well. So that's pretty interesting. Snoop is really branching out. Also, in the grocery department, there is a new Roman noodle that's coming out soon, or it may already be out. It's going to be based on a South Korean chain restaurant, the Outback Steakhouse. There's the Outback Steakhouse, I guess. The Toowoomba. It's the Toowoomba pasta. That's going to be the name of the new Roman. It's based on the new Nogshim Toomba Roman that they have at the Outback Steakhouse. Or I think that's actually the new name of it. But it's based off of the Toowoomba pasta. So it's the new Tongshim Toomba Roman will be the name of the new Roman noodles. That's a mouthful. But yeah, it sounds really good. I might try it just for the heck of it. I'm not much into Roman noodles, but what the hell? It sounds interesting. It sounds like it have like a tangy, taste to it. So I kind of like tangy stuff. So I might be somewhat interested. Sprite is coming out with a new flavor, and I probably will not be among those trying it because I'm not much on unless it's green tea. But it doesn't say that. It says Sprite plus tea. Like I said, if it's green tea, I'm okay. If it's regular tea, not so much. I'm not a big fan of tea, so I'm really picky when it comes to tea, I guess. But yeah, but that's supposed to come out this spring. So that's something to look forward to later this year. But yes, Sprite is coming out with a new flavor called Sprite Plus Tea. Anybody else? I think there was Cheetos. Cheetos is coming out with a new flavor, and I think it may already be out. They said they want to get it out in time for the Super Bowl. They're releasing a new flavor, the Cheetos Puffs Cheese Pizza. So that will be coming out soon. And of course, as you know, Pepsi's coming out with a new flavor. It should be out soon. Wild cherry with cream. So there's that. Like I said, I don't know if it's cream soda or if it's vanilla flavor. That I don't know. I'm not sure. I kind of heard both. I heard some people say it's going to be like a cream soda with it, which wouldn't be too bad, I guess. And other people saying it's going to be, no, it's going to be a vanilla. Vanilla may not be too bad either, though. Vanilla with cherry, that may not be too bad either. So either way, I'm going to try it, definitely, as soon as it comes out. I'm on the lookout for it. Actually, Martha Eve Maynor, he's sending me updates to tell me when it's going to come out. So, yeah. So, thank you to him, by the way. Thank you, Martha Eve Maynor. But, and that's my Martha Eve Maynor shout-out for the video. So, there you go, Martha Eve Maynor. I gave you my shout-out. But yeah, he's keeping me up to date on those things. So, also for the restaurants are coming out with new stuff too. Sonic is coming out with some 3 new things. They are coming out with a new Bacon Deluxe double smasher, which sounds really good, and it looks really good too. I may have to try that. I'm not much on tomatoes, so I might have to take out the tomato. I'm a little picky, but still I may have to try it. It's Angus beef times 2 plus cheese plus tomato plus lettuce plus their signature sauce on potato bun. So it sounds really good. And I think my mom can have it too because it's a potato bun. So she can't have gluten. So it should be a gluten-free sandwich. She should be able to have that one too. I'll probably give her a shout out as well. Let her know when it comes out that she can have that at Sonic. Also, Sonic is coming out with 2 new drinks. So these are their other 2 items. The Strawberry Fusion Fizz, which sounds really good. Sparkling water infused with raspberry, peach, and real strawberries. And a squeeze of lemon. So that sounds really good. I'm already hooked when they said that. I don't know about the squeeze of lemon. I don't know if I really want... But then again, I mean, I can't knock it until I tried it. So, but the strawberry fusion with the sparkling water already sounds good. I mean, the strawberry, yeah. The sparkling water fused with the raspberry, the peach, and the real strawberries, that already sounds good. That sounds like a really fruity drink. And then, so yeah, I'm already sold on that. I was like, okay, peach, real strawberries, and raspberry. I was like, strawberries and raspberries are going to go really good anyway. And I was like, peaches? That might not be too bad either. That may not be too bad. I'm definitely going to have to try it. So, and then, of course, sparkling water. So there you go. And then they got the Sour Dragon Fruit Recharger, which sounds really good too. It has Red Bull mixed with lemon lime soda, some lemon, which I'm thinking is probably going to be a squeeze of lemon again, sweet grape, and dragon fruit. So it sounds really good too. Having some lemon lime soda, your sweet grape, some dragon fruit, and a hint of lemon. Extra hint of lemon. So, of course, and that mixed with the Red Bull, so you're going to be like wide awake. But it sounds really good. I'm definitely all for that. That sounds awesome. Let's Let's see here. Taco Bell is coming out with some new things, too. They're coming out with a couple new drinks. The new Baja Blast with creamy twist. And I may have to try these, too. They're Baja Tropical Lime flavor. Their first one. Baja Tropical Lime flavor with some blue Gatorade mix possibly into it. And they add some vanilla cream. So that may not be too bad. And then their other one is where they added strawberry syrup with... they added some strawberry syrup with to the what they call a strawberry Baja Dream Freeze. So the strawberry one to me sounds a little bit better than the other one, but I'm still going to try both. I know I am. So... let's don't lie here, because it's still Baja, so you're still going to have the Mountain Dew in there. So I'm definitely going to try it. So there's that. Taco Bell's coming out with some new stuff. And then, why not? We got to throw KFC into the mix, too. They're coming out with some new stuff, too. Because why not? So they're coming out with... So McDonald's, they're already losing ground here, and so is Wendy's. They might need to hurry up and come up with some new stuff of their own. But KFC is coming out with a new $5 bowl, with Nashville hot sauce. They'll be calling it, of course, the Nashville Hot Bowls. There's going to be a variety of bowls with the sauce, so you can kind of mix and match, I guess, with these bowls. There'll be different ones, but it'll have the Nashville hot sauce thrown in, which is one of... Right now, KFC was saying how that sauce was very popular last year, so now they're trying to capitalize on it. And they're also coming out with a new restaurant. I believe right now it may just be available in Florida. I'm not sure. I don't know how many are coming around or where they're going to be located at exactly. They kind of look like basically they look like KFC. I want to say they kind of look like a 70s, 80s KFC mixed with Victoria's Secret. That's just the best I can say. But with the colors of it. But I do know there was one radio station I said one guy mentioned it looked like Victoria's Secret. And so, oh yeah, the pink does kind of look a lot like the Victoria's Secret. And then of course he got made fun of because then they said, well, how many times have you been in Victoria's Secret to know this? But hey, if he wants to pick out lingerie for his wife, I ain't gonna knock him. Do what you do, buddy. But anyway, so this the KFC Saucy is gonna be basically where they have chicken tenders and they'll have 11 different choices of sauce and 11 different beverage choices. So there'll be a lot of choices there to choose from. So there you go. So KFC is getting into the mix now. They're coming out with some new stuff too to be on the lookout for. And something I forgot to mention on the grocery side, so I'm going to throw it in right now. Lay's is coming out with a new flavor. Well, they're not necessarily coming out with a new flavor. As you guys know, last fall they came out with the kettle-cooked Cajun spice, which I think I tried that one, if I'm not mistaken. It was really good. And I was happy about that because those kind of chips are the ones that Angela and I really try to eat here at the house. Is the baked ones or the kettle cooked ones because they don't have as much of the sodium in there. Which this one was a Louisiana style. We kind of like that one. But yeah, that one launched last fall, but they're coming out. Like I said, this one isn't necessarily new, but it's going to be new to the United States. If you've been in Canada, then you probably already know about it, but it Lay's all dress. So I guess it's going to be like different dressing flavors thrown into this chip. Which sounds interesting. Sounds intriguing. But yes, that one is supposed to be coming to the United States. Probably very, very soon, sometime this week or next week, possibly, depending on where you live. Maybe it's already come out in your grocery store, depending on where you live. But yeah, it should be coming out very soon, if it hasn't reached you yet. So there is that. That's the shopping stuff. Other than you can go right now, because the show is becoming very popular. NBC Universe Store has announced that you can go online to purchase Traitors merch. The show Traitors. They have a t-shirt that says 100% a faithful t-shirt. A faithful roundtable t-shirt. And I am a traitor t-shirt, among other things. Like traitors bags, hats, hoodies, all that stuff. So there you go. Speaking of traitors, I watched that one the other night. No, it was last night. Watched it last night. Oh my goodness. But it came to a showdown. Basically, and I know spoilers here, but it came to a showdown between Boston Rob and Rob the Drag Queen. Rob the Drag Queen. So it came down between Boston Rob and Rob the Drag Queen. Bob the Drag Queen. I think they just say they put the drag queen on there so that way they don't get the two names mixed up. But anyway, but yeah, there's quite a few there. And for those that don't know, both of them are traitors. Both of them are traitors. They had a challenge yesterday where they had to put these statues together. You had to put like the body on I think the legs on first, then the body, and then the head. Or maybe just the body and the head. I'm not sure. But you had like so many to put on. I think 10. 10 statues that you had to put together. And of course, the heads had names of the contestants on them. There were like 13 heads, but there's only like 10 contestants. So, of course, people are going to get left out. And, of course, the ones that got up there, well, they all get shielded so they can't be murdered. So, that's the situation. Well, like I said, it got really, really interesting between Boston Rob and Bob the Drag Queen. And it came down to where basically, if you know Boston Rob, he basically threw in there like, hey, I've played these games, throwing out Survivor and Big Brother. I've played these games many times. You all know me, and I can tell, who's lying and all that stuff, and I can 100% say that Bob the Drag Queen is a traitor, and the rest is history there. They took out him, so they got Bob the Drag Queen. Everybody voted for him, and poor Bob, he had to leave. Even though he swore to God that he was not a traitor, that he was a faithful. And then he goes like, well, I didn't tell a lie because I swore to God. But that is a lie because he said, I don't believe in God. Which I said that right when he said that. I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't be doing that because I'm pretty sure you don't believe in God. So of course you're going to swear on God. And I didn't really fall for it. Apparently they didn't fall for it either. So they got him last night. The only thing is, it looks like the tides have turned on Boston Rob, which I hope not, because I really like Boston Rob. I enjoy watching. I think he makes a show interesting, so I hope he gets to stick around another week. But if not, it's fine. I'll still watch, but I like Boston Rob, so I'm kind of rooting for him. But anyway. Then we talk about Goosebumps and the new season of Goosebumps that dropped on Disney+. And yes, I'm giving you some spoilers in that. I'm not going to give you all of it because, like I said, it just dropped last week. And I want to give people a chance to watch it. But bottom line is, it's my opinion of it. And I don't remember. First off, I asked Angela a couple times, like, do you remember R.L. Stein doing something like this? And she was like, no, like, this might be some of his new stuff. I'm not sure. Because I remember reading the crap out of Goosebumps growing up. Like, okay, like, the Slappy, I know Slappy. Slappy's easy. I know who Slappy is. But this stuff is like, I guess the best way to say it, I'm just going to come out with it, I guess. It reminded me a lot of Venom. So Marvel's Venom. Like how Venom has this black stuff and it's an alien stuff and then it takes over and then it can do whatever it wants or whatever. That's basically the idea that I got from this stuff is like it basically once it does this stuff, like it basically can turn you into kind of like Venom. But R.L. Stein's version of Venom. So, like a creepier, darker Venom kind of thing. But that's kind of what I got is like it definitely has some Venom vibes. And it almost even looks like Venom. So, I mean, it doesn't morph into Venom. But that black stuff that gets on is kind of like the black stuff that Venom uses, to take over someone's body. So, kind of same... Put it this way, it's the same idea, but after that, that's where the two cut cords, so to speak. They're still alien, but that's the only thing they have in common, really, is that they're alien, and they both look the same when they try to take over a body or a car or whatever, but then after that, that's all they have in common after that. It's really interesting. I loved it, actually. It was really good. I kind of gave it an 8 out of 10. And I still want to see another Goosebumps season. So I'm hoping it doesn't end at season 2. I hope they keep it going. And then we talk about playoffs. Really, when I talk about playoffs, of course, the Chiefs play tonight. So, again, this doesn't get uploaded in time. By the time the Chiefs play, I'm okay with it. But I'm still talking Chiefs. They did a really good job all year. Really proud of them. Really looking forward to this game. Hopefully Angela will be here in time to watch it with me. But in saying that, with the Chiefs, I was watching Kylie Kelsey this week, as I always do. I watch her, and I watch Travis and Jason Kelsey. I watch their podcast as well. That's something that I do every week. I watch those two. Watch Kylie Kelsey with her Not Gonna Lie. I've watched it pretty much ever since it came out. I enjoy her stuff. She does a really good job. And I know one thing she was talking about on her thing was was the things that you do. And I'm trying to find my list here because I got my own. There we go. The things that you do for playoff rituals. So, like, she had a thing where she has to knock on wood, for superstition stuff and all that. Now, I don't do the knock on wood part, but I too have my own rituals. So, I can relate to what she's saying. So, therefore, I'm not going to knock her. Other than the fact that she's an Eagles fan. But it's okay. I'll accept that. I mean, I like Jason Kelsey. So, and Kylie's really cool too. So, hey, you know what? I'm not going to knock them that much. I really ain't. And that's one thing I don't try to do too during a play when it's game, especially when it's game day. In fact, I try to do it all year because I think she said she does it too. Is like, don't knock the other teams. I don't. I try my best not to. I don't try to get into the hype that other fans do. I try to keep my stuff on the down low because I think that it's bad karma and that bad karma comes back to bite you later. So that's one thing I don't try to do is talk smack on other fans or other teams. I try to leave that alone, especially on game day. Especially on game day. You don't talk smack. You just, like, okay, fine. They can like whoever they want. That's fine. It's cool. But to tell you the truth, that's the way I've always been anyway. I don't care. You could be a Raiders fan, and we can be the best of friends until that day comes when your Raiders play my Chiefs. And then I ain't going to like you for those three hours. And then once those 3 hours are over, win or loss, we can go back to being friends again. It's okay. But for that time period, you and I are enemies. But even though we're enemies, I still try to keep it friendly because, I don't want to keep my team from winning. So I'll still keep it friendly because I think that the universe will come, or God, for that matter, he'll come, there'll be punishment for my words. So he's punished me in the past for my words I've been gloating about my Chiefs over the years, and I've learned to keep my mouth shut. And ever since I have, the team has been doing really good. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So there's that. Also, my house, every Friday night, which did not change this week, I have lights outside that I can change into different colors, So every Friday night before a game day football game, I make sure the lights are on and I make sure it is red. So the house is showing red for Red Friday, for Red Friday night. And on Red Friday, I always wear red. I always wear a Chiefs shirt. Doesn't matter what Chiefs shirt I wear. It could be this one. It could be a different one. But I always wear a red shirt on Red Friday. A red Chiefs shirt. It has to be a red Chiefs shirt. It can't be a white one. Can't be a yellow one. Can't be a black one. It has to be a red Chiefs shirt every Friday. And then, of course, game day comes around. Now, I do have a Travis Kelce jersey that I wear. It's a white jersey. I will wear it, but I do not, and I will wear it today. It is ready for me, but I do not wear it until it's a couple minutes, or until we get to like the half an hour to an hour. I can wear it an hour to a half an hour before the game starts. I don't put it on until we get closer to game time. Once we get closer to game time, then I put it on, just like the players put on their jerseys. Then I put on mine. So it's just like, okay, now we're getting serious. Now it's getting real. Until then, I just wear a normal shirt. So, but once we get closer to game time, that changes. And then, but yeah, like her, I don't talk smack. I try to stay off of social media too during the game. You don't do social media during the game. Wait till the game is over and then you can do social media, but not during the game. So I tune out everybody, even my friends and family and all that, because sometimes they kind of get, why did he do this? Why did he do that? The best way to tune them out is just not even see what they're saying. And then whatever you did during the regular season, you keep doing it during the postseason. It doesn't change. Your routines, like wearing your Chiefs hat, wearing your Chiefs clothes, whatever your ritual might be, it doesn't change during the playoffs. You keep it the same. So there's that. And my ritual is during the game, once I get my jersey on, still do this. Because the Chiefs are still the Roman Reigns of the National Football League. We have won 2 titles in a row. We've won 3 together, but we've won 2 in a row. And, we are the undisputed champ right now of the NFL. So we do the Roman Reigns point up and the bloodline. Because right now, everybody has to beat the bloodline. Everybody has to beat the Chiefs. That's the bottom line. If you want to get to the promised land, you got to beat the Chiefs. So the question is, who's going to do it? And I don't know how many of them are going to do it. So there you go. That is my rituals that I do. And I definitely do the finger up right after the Chiefs win. So chances are tonight that finger's going to go right back up after we beat the Texans. But there you go. Now I have to knock on wood, even though I don't usually do that because I'm predicting the win. But hey, I do that anyway. I do my NFL predictions, and honestly, I am picking the Chiefs to beat the Texans today because it's going to be in. And like I said, that's not knocking the Texans at all. They are an incredible team. They really are. But considering that the Chiefs beat them last time during regular season, and considering I think that one was actually on the road, this one's going to be an Arrowhead, and the Chiefs know the stakes. So do the Texans, but the Chiefs know the stakes. They know it's going to be home field advantage. And on top of that, it's going to be a very cold game, which the Chiefs are kind of going to be used to because they've been practicing up here all week, so they're kind of used to this weather that Missouri has. But the Texans aren't necessarily going to be used to it, so there's that. So, all right, so the next game, AFC game, Bills versus Ravens, and I'm really going to be watching that game too because win or loss, whether the Chiefs win or lose that game, and that one was actually a hard one for me to pick. And I've been doing really good on my picks all year, right? So, like, I think the most I've missed in a week, I missed 5 1 week. But majority of the time this year, I've missed 3 in a week. That is usually the worst I do, is 3 in a week. There's 1 week where I missed 5, but there were some upsets that week that kind of threw me off. But all in all, I've only missed 3 a week on average. That's pretty good. And so when it came to this game, and unfortunately I didn't pick any teams last week. I kind of missed out on that last week. I had so much going on at the house and everything. I just forgot to pick my teams. But Bills versus, I think if I would have picked them though, I think I picked my teams, I think I would have done all right last week. I don't think I would have missed a single one, because those are the teams I would have picked. But anyway, Bills versus, I just forgot to officially pick my teams. That's the problem. But yeah, Bills versus Baltimore. Like I said, that's a tough one. But being that the game is going to, because I'm not taking anything from Baltimore. Baltimore's a good team. Chiefs won that game, the game against Baltimore, by a foot. Literally a foot. Otherwise, Baltimore would have won that game. Had his foot been in the end zone, the Ravens would have beat us. So, there's that. And then, of course, Baltimore, too. I know, too, that the Ravens are chomping at the bit right now to get back into a game against Kansas City. I know that. Because, first off, that game was so close, and to be down by just a foot. But also because, they have that sour taste in their mouth from last year when the Chiefs kicked them out of the playoffs. So, they're chomping at the bit to try to get up against us if they can. They got to go through Buffalo to do it. But the game's going to be in Buffalo. It's going to be a cold game, but I don't think that's going to hurt Baltimore any. I think Baltimore's okay with cold games. You know what? I'm probably going to regret it. Because I like the Bills. But for that game, I am going to pick the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to pick the upset because I think right now, especially if the Chiefs win today, I think that's going to put more fuel in the fire for Baltimore. Don't get me wrong. I think the Bills want to play the Chiefs too. I really do. I think Josh Allen really wants to play up against his rival, Pat Mahomes. But at the end of the day, I think Baltimore is going to kill them. I just do. I think Baltimore right now, I can just see Baltimore wanting this game more than Buffalo does. I see them chomping at the bit to try to come into Kansas City and upset the Chiefs. try to do what they couldn't do earlier on this season. I'm picking Baltimore. I think it's going to be Baltimore. I do. All right, now I got to pick my NFC. So we got the Lions and the Commanders. First, Lions against the Commanders. I'm going to take the Lions over the Commanders. Without a shadow of a doubt, the way Detroit is playing right now. And again, nothing against the Commanders. Every one of these teams has earned their right to the playoffs. So they're all tough teams. They all deserve to be there. But just the way that Detroit is playing right now, honestly, until I'm proven wrong, I'm probably going to keep picking Detroit until they get to the Super Bowl. Because I think they're going to get in. I think it's going to be a Kansas City versus Detroit Super Bowl. I really do. Could be Baltimore versus Detroit, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be Kansas City versus Detroit. So I'm picking Detroit for that game. And then the last game, the Rams versus Philly. So the game is going to be in Philadelphia. Should be another cold game. You've got the Eagles faithful going to be there. It's going to be an all-out brutal war there. The only thing is, I think something tells me that the Rams are going to come in there with an extra fight under their belt because of what's going on right now in Los Angeles with those fires going on right now. Their hometown is in shambles. They're going to try to give everything they got on that field because they want to try to give their city something to fight for, a reason to fight, a reason to stand above those flames. So I think the Rams are going to come out with everything they've got. I really do. However, I don't know if it's going to be enough. I'm going to pick Philadelphia. I'm going to pick the Eagles. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be in Philly. The fans are going to be, it's going to be hell for those Rams. And I just think right now, especially the way Philly runs the ball, the Eagles love to run the ball, and yet they can still be a two-dimensional team there with the pass. I think it might be too much for the Rams. In the end, I think the Eagles are going to take the Rams. So that's my pick. I think it's going to be Philly against Detroit, and I think it's going to be Baltimore versus Kansas City next week. I think those are going to be your deciding games of who's going to get in the Super Bowl. So there's my predictions. So I hope you like them. Now, let's move on. We're going to talk some WWE. Well, before we get to WWE, I will talk about them. I'm going to save them for last. First thing is first, since I got done with talking about playoffs. Popeye the Sailor Man. It had its birthday yesterday. Love Popeye the Sailor Man growing up. Who didn't like him, right? I mean, yes, it's an older cartoon, but still, when I was 5 or 6, hey, when you're young enough, you don't really care how old that thing is. It's a cartoon. It's funny. The jokes still work. I mean, it's universal. So, like the moon's made out of cheese and all this stuff. So, yes, I mean, when you're a kid, it all makes sense. You're fine. So, but yeah, great cartoon. Loved it. So I had to do my own top 10 Saturday morning cartoons because Popeye, if I remember right, it was a Saturday morning cartoon for a while. So I had to do my own top 10. And these are the top 10 Saturday morning cartoons from when I grew up. Now, I'm going to mention some of these before I give you my top 10. Some of the shows I could remember. We had Smurfs, we had Scooby-Doo, we had Gargoyles, we had Batman, we had Captain Planet, Spider-Man, X-Men, Darkwing Duck, Rugrats, Animaniacs, Doug, Pinky and the Brain, Tailspin, Dexter's Lab, Hey Arnold, The Goof Troop, Recess, Pokemon, of course Digimon was out also, and I think Yu-Gi-Oh! So, which are kind of piggybacking off of Pokemon a little bit, but they were good shows nevertheless. Recess, Author, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Dragon Ball Z, The Jetsons, Flintstones, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, DuckTales, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Garfield and Friends, Tiny Toon Adventures, The Bugs Bunny Show, Tom and Jerry, Underdog, Transformers, Ghostbusters, Care Bears, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Schoolhouse Rock, Thundercats, Inspector Gadget, Gummy Bears, G.I. Joe, The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which we'll get into a little bit more here in a little bit. A pup named Scooby-Doo, Wacky Races, Yogi the Bear, Street Sharks, The Tick, Top Cat, and I'm sure there were more that I failed to mention, but those, I mean, what, did I mention the Magic School Bus? I think I did. So, I mean, good variety right there, right? I mean, a lot of those shows, and as soon as I mentioned them, I'm like, oh yeah, I watched just about all of these. I loved all of these. Saturday mornings was freaking awesome growing up. I mean, I probably watched TV from like 5 in the morning till like 10 in the morning at least, or whenever Mom wanted to go somewhere, we went. But otherwise, if we were staying home like that for a Saturday, hell, I was glued to that TV till at least 10 or noon. That was my thing. That was my Saturday, watching TV shows. There was so many good cartoons to watch. So I have to narrow it down to 10, even though like Darkwing Duck, I loved it. So these are the honorable mentions. Darkwing Duck was an honorable mention. X-Men is an honorable mention. Love those shows. Goof Troop was an honorable mention. Recess, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Dragon Ball Z, of course, the Flintstones, the Jetsons, DuckTales. Even though DuckTales is so close to making the list, I was so close because I even love that song. So close. It's definitely in my top 20, but it did not make my top 10. Alvin and the Chipmunks, loved it. Garfield and Friends, I loved it too. Tiny Toons is another one. Ghostbusters was another one. Rocky and Bullwinkle was another one. Inspector Gadget is on my honorable mention. G.I. Joe is on my honorable mention. Wacky Races was on my honorable mention. And Yogi the Bear. So those are my honorable mentions. Even though I loved all of these shows. I watched all of them. I'm not going to lie. I watched all of them. But like I said, I can only have 10 top. I'll only have a top 10. And this is the top 10 throughout all the years that I was growing up. So I can't just say like this is my top 10 at age 5. Because some of these shows weren't out when I was 5. But I watched Saturday morning cartoons probably from when I was 5 all the way up through high school. Well, all the way up till I got... Yeah, all the way up through high school. Because even in high school, I still watched some Saturday morning cartoons. At least 1 or 2. I can't lie on that one. I would still watch Rugrats. I still watch SpongeBob. So, SpongeBob is another one that's an honorable mention. He did not make my top 10, though. So, there you go. My top 10. First off, number 10, Captain Planet. He made my top 10 list. I can't get rid of Captain Planet. Love Captain Planet growing up. I had to watch it. Number 9, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Loved it. Loved the theme song growing up. I remember as soon as that theme song hit, I would be dancing around the house, and I would be doing my little nunchucks thing or my little thing here for Raphael or whatever with the size, my fake size, because I didn't have any, or maybe just something with the staff, or the swords. But I still did my little dance during that thing, and I knew the words, so yeah, it definitely made my number 9. Number 8, Pinky and the Brain. Love Pinky and the Brain. What are we going to do tonight? Pinky, same thing. Or what are we going to do tonight? Brain, same thing we ever do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. So I always had to watch to see them try and fail every time. it was still hilarious. Animaniacs. That's the show where Pinky and the Brain got their start, and love Animaniacs. Can't say enough about that show. It was freaking awesome. They got there's a video game on Super Nintendo that was Animaniacs, and I played it too. So love Animaniacs. Number 6, Gargoyles. Love Gargoyles. I think Disney had Gargoyles, but love Gargoyles growing up. That was a great show. Another honorable mention too. Another show I need to mention too. Aladdin actually had a sideshow cartoon, I think, that played on Saturdays. I know I used to watch it too growing up. It was like its own show based off of the movie. And then Timon and Pumbaa, they had their own side cartoon based on the movies. So, number 5, Hey Arnold. Gotta have Hey Arnold somewhere in that list, the top 10. So I put it number 5. I feel comfortable with it at number 5. Love that show growing up. And then number 4, Tailspin. Love Tailspin. I love Blue in that movie as the pilot. Or in that shows. Cartoons. Whatever you want to say. Number 3, Rugrats. Had to watch Rugrats growing up. I had to watch Tommy, Chucky. I had to watch Reptar. See what was going to happen in those series. They were so funny. Number 2, Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man growing up. The cartoon Spider-Man. I think that's really what got me into Marvel. Was growing up anyway. That's really what got me into Marvel. That's what really got me into comic books, was watching Spider-Man, the Spider-Man cartoons. That's what Spider-Man got me into X-Men, and then from there it just took off. So number 2 is Spider-Man, and number 1, Doug. Who did not love Doug? I loved Doug growing up. That was my favorite cartoon. I had to watch Doug once it came out. Doug was my favorite, so I'm going with Doug. That is my top 10 of that one. Now I got one more top 10 I have to do. Usually I just do one. But this weekend, we have to do 2. We just have to, because Winnie the Pooh had its birthday today on Saturday. Saturday is Winnie the Pooh's birthday for the 18th. The movie Winnie the Pooh. So, of course, like I said, talking about that, it had its own cartoon series too. It had several things. Can't say enough about Winnie the Pooh. It has a special place in my heart, even though it didn't make my top 10. I have to say though, I didn't make my top 10 on the cartoons, but still, I mean, it's still a good show. I still watched it, so I can't say I didn't. So there you go. So here are my top 10 favorite Disney movies. And again, just like Popeye, I could not put Popeye in my top 10 a while ago, because I figured that was unfair considering it's his birthday. And that's why it didn't make my top 10 or top 20 or even my honorable mention, because that's unfair because it's Popeye's birthday. So of course you're going to try to put it in your top 10. I mean, because it's birthday. I'm like, yeah, so we're just going to say, like, I can pick anything except for Popeye. Popeye I can't pick. He's out. Because we're celebrating his birthday, so he's out. I can't pick him. So that way I'm not being biased. So same thing here. I can pick any Disney movie except for a Disney animated movie that came out during my childhood. So anything past the 2000s I cannot pick. So anything that came out in the year 2000 and on, I cannot pick, and I cannot pick Winnie the Pooh because it's Winnie the Pooh's birthday. So I cannot pick those. So I do have a list other than Winnie the Pooh, because like I said, I can't pick him. I have Lion King, Aladdin, Lady and the Tramp, Cinderella, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Jungle Book, Mulan, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Peter Pan, Lilo and Stitch. I think that one just made the list, but I'm sticking to it. I do kind of remember that one while I was in high school, so that one counts. I'm going to count it anyway. I'm going to go with it. So yeah. So anything past Lilo the Stitch, though, did not make it. So, or whatever. The Sword in the Stone, Emperor's New Groove, a Goofy Movie, Hercules, Sleeping Beauty, Aristocats, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Bambi, Oliver and Company, Pocahontas, The Fox and the Hound, Tarzan, which I think Tarzan came out in 2001. So I did say 2000s, but anything past, let me rephrase. Anything past 2005, 2006. Basically anything after I graduate from high school. I can't pick. These are just the ones that I have growing up. So all the way up through high school. And then after that, they're out. So Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, because those are still animated ones. Robin Hood, where Robin Hood was like a fox. And then I think Little John was blue, but I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I know they were all different animals. No, he wasn't blue. But he was different. They were all different animals anyway. Like, there's a lion in there and all that. But anyway, The Rescuers and Fantasia is my list. And I'm sure there are more that I probably forgot to mention, but those are the ones I've got on here. All right, now, out of those, I got to pick 10. So I got to narrow it down to my top 10. And that was hard, but I did narrow it down. Number 10, A Goofy Movie. Love that movie. Hilarious. I love the dance stuff in that movie. Some people are still dancing to it today, so it's got to make my top 10. I love A Goofy Movie. Number 9, because I watch it every Halloween and every Christmas, it had to make my list. A Nightmare Before Christmas. I watch that one once, maybe twice a year. So it's definitely got to make my list somewhere. It's definitely one of my favorite Christmas movies or Halloween movies, however you want to look at it. I look at it as both. It's definitely one of my favorites, so it's got to make this countdown too somewhere. So it makes number 9. Number 8, Robin Hood with that fox. I love that movie. I love the whistle song. I'm not going to do it right now, but that whistle, every time I hear the whistle in that song, or whistle in that movie, it gets stuck in my head. And then next thing you know, I'm at work whistling it. And that's why I'm not going to whistle it now, because as soon as I do, it's going to get stuck in my head. Good or bad. So it's definitely got to make my list. So it's at number 8. Number 7, The Emperor's New Groove. Love that movie. Hilarious movie. Still makes me laugh to this day. It's definitely got to make my list somewhere. So I'm going to put it at number 7. I feel comfortable with that. Number 6, Tarzan, because I love how he maneuvered through the trees in that movie. I like how they did the surfboard type thing there. Kind of made Tarzan a surfer on the trees. That was really cool. So I enjoyed that. So it makes my number 6. Number 5, Oliver and Company, because I love those songs. Really cool. That dog was just a really cool dude. So definitely has to make my top. It definitely has to make my top 10. I feel comfortable putting him at number 5. Number 4, Jungle Book, because I love the songs in Jungle Book. And I love Baloo, the character Baloo, the bear. Loved him growing up, so he's got to make my list too. I feel comfortable with him at number 4. Good movie. And yeah, Yoo-hoo-hoo, I want to be like Yoo-hoo-hoo. I love that song. So it makes there. Number 3, Aladdin, because I mean, come on. I love Genie. I love the Genie growing up. I loved him. I love Robin Williams. It's got to make my list, so I'm putting it at number 3. Number 2, Lilo and Stitch. I love Stitch. Such a relatable character. Such a lovable character. Let's just say that. Lovable character. Funny movie. Hilarious. I gotta go with Lilo and Stitch at number 2. I can't wait for the live action one to come out this summer. And then number 1, The Lion King. Hands down, Lion King every time. You put on The Lion King, I'm there. Even now, Lion King is number 1. That's the best one. I'm there. Yeah. And then that new movie that came out with Mufasa, I threw my hands up again. Mufasa. Good movie, great movie, well made. No complaints. So there you go. That is my top 10 animated Disney movies from when I grew up. So there you go. Anything that was out anything that was out and I could watch it up until my high school, because I know a lot of those movies came out way before I was born. But like I said, this is just. And of course, I forgot to mention 101 Dalmatians. That one should have been on the honorable mention too. But yeah. Oh, so many good Disney movies. So many. But yeah, I'm proud of my list, and I'm sticking with that. So those are my favorites. I'm sure you all have yours, and if you want to mention them in the comments, you can. Tell me I'm a complete douche and say that my list doesn't work out. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's mine. So, all right, now we're talking some WWE. Talking about what happened in the WWE. And then I will wrap things up. So, WWE, Monday Night Raw. We had CM Punk open up Monday Night Raw. He talked about John Cena announcing that. How Cena announced that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble last Monday night. So, CM Punk is saying, well, you know what? Good luck to you because I'm going into the Royal Rumble too. So, he's going to join, of course, and then that's when Seth Rollins comes out and says, well, you know what? Sorry to disappoint you and all that. Oh, I'm going to come into the Royal Rumble just to ruin your stuff and kick you out. So now Rollins is going to be in the Royal Rumble as well. And then Drew McIntyre comes out and announces he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. So, which we all kind of figured they would all be in there anyway, but now we're just adding to their story of why they're in there. So basically, all three of them are going to be in there to ruin each other's parade, and maybe John Cena's too. So there's that, and then Jey Uso, he's already announced that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble before, and Roman Reigns has already thrown his hat in the ring too, so it's already looking good as far as the Royal Rumble. And of course, during that dispute between Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk, we got a match out of the deal, so now it's going to be next Monday Night Raw, or this upcoming Monday, it'll be Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I'll definitely be watching that one to see who wins that. It'll be interesting. Maybe see if CM Punk comes out and interrupts him. I don't know. Anything can happen there. And then Chad Gable challenged a luchador, and I figured I knew who it was. Sure enough, it's Penta. Penta is coming out to the WWE. He is new. He is fresh. He made his debut. I really want to see now that, he got a really good win over Chad Gable. He did the sacrifice, the Penta driver. He did some really cool stuff off the top rope. Really cool maneuvers going from in the ring to out of the ring, jumping out of the ring. As he always does. I'm not surprised, 'cause I've watched him several times in AEW, so I was excited to see him come to WWE. Now that he's there, I love both. I love AEW and I love WWE. And it's just been a while since I've watched AEW because you can't really stream it. Well, now you can. It's on Max. So I've been streaming it just to get caught up, and then as soon as I think I'm caught up enough, then I'll start talking AEW on here too. But right now I'm still trying to get caught up with everything that's going on with the storylines and everything. It shouldn't take too long to get into it, but I'm still trying to get my feet on the ground there. But yeah, so Chad gave, but yeah, now that Penta's in there, I really want to see him versus Rey Mysterio. I think that'd be a really cool match. I want to see Luchador versus Luchador. I want to see, see what they got. Of course, right now, Rey Mysterio may have his own hands full. I don't know yet, but now that Penta's in there, though, it would be really cool is maybe see if Penta goes after the Judgment Day. Maybe see if he goes after. He gives he gives Dirty Dom maybe a match for WrestleMania. Maybe maybe Dirty Dom versus Penta at WrestleMania. That might be a pretty good one. I might watch that to see what happens. So there's so many different things they could do with Penta right now. I'm just excited he's with WWE and see what happens. I like it when they change over, to different federations, because that just, as a fan, it opens up the door for new matches. Like, okay, he's faced pretty much everybody in AEW, and then you see, like, okay, now he's going to make his debut in WWE. I'm like, okay, so now he's got a whole new set of matches he could go, because he hasn't faced anybody over here yet. So this is exciting. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen there. Then we have the Judgment Day having their little quarrels. Dirty Dom tries to give Liv Morgan flowers because, as you remember, he tried to make things up with Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley gave him a riptide. So now he's trying to make things up with Liv Morgan and saying, hey, that was, me being stupid, whatever. Or I'm not sure exactly what he's going with there. I don't think the flowers worked. She kind of gave the flowers to somebody else, but she told Dirty Dom this. She told Dirty Dom, like, well, it's okay, it's fine. Oh, by the way, go get my bag and get her bag and take care of the valet for us. And I don't know. I think the chicken tenders might be over for Dirty Dom at the moment. I don't think he's going to get his chicken tenders. Not this time around. But very interesting. And then, of course, it ends with Finn Balor talking smack at how he's going to take care of business later on that night. And then we move on to the next thing. Sheamus versus Kaiser. Kaiser kicked out of the white noise. It was a really good match, by the way. But yeah, Sheamus at one point delivered the white noise, and Kaiser kicked out of that. He grabs a shillelagh, but he did not use it. He threatened to, which would have ended the match, but he did not use it. But later on in the match, Kaiser would fall victim to the bro kick. Because basically he was standing over Sheamus. Could have ended the match, but instead he decided to mock Sheamus, and that let Sheamus back up, and he was able to use the bro kick on Kaiser, and he won the match. So, and Braun Breaker was on the outside watching the match in the stands, and of course Sheamus sees Braun Breaker, and the two kind of push off of each other, and so we know we're going to have a match between those two at some point later on down the road. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Of course, they announced that at that point. They announced that would be next week. And then Sami Zayn talks to Rollins. That didn't end well for Sami Zayn. Gunther was in the ring, and he says, okay, you all are trying to handle business last night on Raw, but don't forget about my title. I'm still the man here. I still got this, which I think everybody keeps forgetting about Gunther here lately. I don't know. I don't think he's a very good champion. He's too quiet. He's too standoffish. And I get it, as he's trying to play into the mold of his character, I guess, but I don't know, it just like he's just one of those champions that you can just easily forget about, and that's not really a good thing when you're a champion. You don't want people to forget about you, and I have to say, last week I forgot all about him until later on, like, oh yeah, we got a champion over here that we forgot about. But anyway, so he makes his presence known. Jey Uso says, like, hey, it came out and confronted him, said, hey, I haven't forgot about that title. I'll challenge you. Gunther says, well, do you really want to? Because you remember what happened last time. I beat you last time, and you're just you're good at just being tag team, and that's all you are. Which we all know Uso did get the Intercontinental title, so he has had a single title now. He lost it later, but he had it for a while. So it has been announced. So I guess for the Saturday main event that's coming up soon, Jey Uso will face Gunther. So that's something to look forward to. Valkyria took on Dakota Kai for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And Kaya... So Cobra Kai, or Dakota Kai. I don't know why I said Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai. Dakota Kai, you're now a member of Cobra Kai. I didn't know if you knew that, but the match was really good all the way throughout. I'm not going to complain. It was probably one of the best matches of the night. Sheamus and Kaiser, though, had a good match too. I'm not knocking them at all, but I think the ladies knocked it out that night. They had one of the best matches of the night, if not the best match of the night. I think really that match should have, and not to knock WWE, but I think that they should have ended the night with Valkyria versus Dakota Kai. I really do. I think that would have been... Let the women highlight, damn it. Let them have the last match. That should have been the last match, in my opinion. Even though it's for a lower title, who cares? I mean, they gave it all they had. It was a great match. Valkyria did win in the end. She won with her famous Nightwing. Got the victory. Well earned for Valkyria. I'm really proud of her. I was kind of hoping that she would win that match, even though I like Dakota Kai too. So great match. Loved it. Then we moved on. Sami Zayn versus The Miz. Because The Miz was talking smack after Sami Zayn got his ass chewed by Rollins, or whatever, however you want to say it. He got dissed by Rollins, put it that way. Not necessarily ass chewed, but he got dissed pretty bad by Rollins. Then Miz opens up his mouth, and he starts insulting Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn challenges him to a match, and Sami Zayn wins that one. Not much to say about it, other than Sami won that one. Then Mommy comes out, and for the first time since she won the title last week, saying basically, I think she's just kind of looking for a challenger right now at this moment in time. Nia Jax comes out, says like, well, I might be changing over to Raw. No, she's not. But she was announcing that she's going to be in the Royal Rumble, and then she could challenge for either title. I would think that she'd be more likely to challenge for the title that she just got, that was just stolen from her. But apparently she has moved on from that title and wants Rhea Ripley's title. I'm not sure how that works. Like I said, for storyline purposes, I would think that if Nia Jax wins, she'd be more interested in getting back the very title that was kind of robbed from her by a person carrying a Money in the Bank briefcase. But whatever, it is what it is. That's when Nia Jax also looked over out in the stands, and she noticed Bayley was out there, and she's talking smack about Bayley, and why are you here? Bayley says, hey, this is my hometown. So then Bayley comes out, she comes into the ring, she confronts Nia Jax, Mommy's confronting Nia Jax goes after Bayley. Mommy then goes after Nia Jax. Nia Jax then goes after Mommy. And, yeah, there's kind of a little bit of chaos in the ring. But then Bayley and Rhea Ripley join forces, and they knock Nia Jax out of the ring. I think that pretty much signifies, too, that if Bayley did not win her match at SmackDown, she'll probably be in the Royal Rumble as well. I think it's going to be I think they're trying to set up basically they're trying to set up a thing between Bayley and Nia Jax at the Royal Rumble is what it sounds like to me. Because right now Rhea Ripley has the title, so she's not going to be in Royal Rumble unless something dramatic happens. I doubt that. Priest. So then we go to Damian Priest versus Finn Balor at the street fight. This is the one that's going to end the night. It was a good match too. I'm not knocking it. I think that the ladies match should have been I still think they could have ended with that one because it was a title match, but I mean, it is what it is. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that one because this is a street fight. I think I would have opened with the street fight, but that's just me. Just bring out the chaos right at the very beginning. Bring out the street fight. Do what AEW does. Just start off with the baddest of the bad and go from there. See if everything else can live up to that hype. But it is what it is. I mean, we had kendo sticks, we had tables, we had announce tables, we had the crowd, we had trash cans, we had the barricade. Back out to the fans. We had chairs. We had stairways. Damian Priest, he did his broken arrow through the table with Finn Balor. So both were kind of wiped out there for a minute. Finn Balor then ends up going on a stretcher because of what just happened. So maybe the match is over. No, it's not. Because Judgment Day comes out, Damian Priest then goes after the Judgment Day. Judgment Day also goes after Damian Priest. They think they have Damian Priest right where they want him. About that time, Finn Balor gets off of the stretcher. He's all of a sudden now he's fine. He's great. Maybe a little worse for wear, but hell, he's okay. So, because JD and Toledo, they pretty much, wipe the floor with Damian Priest. So now, Finn Balor hits the coup de grace, and he pins Damian Priest, but Priest kicks out. So now the tide is turned. Toledo and JD, they try to bring out tables. The Raiders come out and help out Damian Priest because Damian Priest helped them out a few weeks back. So they're returning the favor. Damian Priest has a chair wrapped around his neck at one point, I think, and then he gets out of that one. He basically takes Finn Balor down, even with the chair still on his neck. Then later on, Damian Priest hits the South of Heaven. Finn Balor kicks out of that. Balor hits the coup de grace through a table on the outside. But Priest later on gets up from that. Finally, after struggling a little bit, he gets up from that later, and then he does the Razor's Edge on Balor through a table. Brings Finn Balor back into the ring, and then later he tells Finn Balor that he is not my brother's keeper, and he hits the South of Heaven one more time, and that's enough to put Finn Balor away. Priest wins the match, and that is the night for Raw. Then we move on to SmackDown. I would mention NXT, but I mentioned enough as it is. So Kevin Owens comes out and he challenges Rey, because Rey Mysterio's out there. I think Rey Mysterio's saying that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, and just announcing to everybody, hey, I'm going to go to the Royal Rumble. Well, Kevin Owens comes out and he challenges Rey Mysterio for a title match if Rey Mysterio wins the Royal Rumble, because it challenges him for his quote-unquote title that he stole from the American Nightmare. So it's not a title that he actually has, but he, somewhere in his mind, he thinks he has it. He's now the champ. I'm not sure how, but so yeah, there's a thing going on there. So Rey Mysterio and Kevin Owens go after each other later on in the night, and the American Nightmare comes out. Cody Rhodes, he saves the day, and it's still going to be a Kevin Owens versus the American Nightmare at some point in the future. So there you go. There's that story. Bianca Belair and Naomi defeat Candice LeRae and Nia Jax, because the match was going pretty good, and Candice LeRae's, well, not really. The match kept going back and forth. Candice LeRae was laid out basically from Bianca Belair. So Nia Jax decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to take you out. So she tries to do her leg drop. But Bianca gets out of the way, and the leg drop goes on to... she hits it right onto her tag team partner, LeRae. Naomi then gets tagged in, and she finishes LeRae off. Earlier in the night, there's another near miss by Jax onto Candice LeRae. So I'm not sure exactly where that's... I think they're leading up to where they're going to have problems there on that with that tag team. So time will tell, but I think their timing is off. Candice LeRae and Nia Jax's timing is off there. I think something is going to happen there very, very soon between the two of them. And we got Jimmy Uso later that night. Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. Match was going really good, actually. There was some really good highlights from Carmelo Hayes. There's some good things from Jey Uso, but a lot of stuff from Carmelo Hayes. He's doing really well in that match. But Jimmy Uso was starting to come back in that match. He's about to hit his signature move from the high ropes when Fontu and Tonga interfered in the match. They took out Jimmy Uso. Of course, it's a disqualification, so Jimmy Uso did win the match on by disqualification, but Tonga and Fontu, then they address the WWE Universe, and they get booed, saying what they need to say. Well, LA Knight comes out, and he's determined to take care of both of them. He starts doing good, but then, it's 2-on-1, so he needs some backup. Braun Strowman then comes out, and basically him and Fontu end up in a stare down with each other. Fontu is sizing up Strowman, which, that's a big guy to be sizing up. I'm not sure what he's thinking there, but anyway, Tonga drags Fontu out of the ring, and that pretty much ends that. But I think there's going to be a tag team match probably next week between LA Knight and Braun Strowman and Fontu and Tanga. So, Tama Tanga. So that would be pretty interesting. I would definitely like to see that tag team match. The Motor City Machine Guns, they won another match in SmackDown also. I think this is going to be... I'm not sure how many straight wins this is for them, but they're definitely on fire. Or WWE is definitely pushing them up for probably to get the titles. I would imagine. I think that's what the push is right now. But B-Fab took on Piper Niven. I think she was kind of tricked in the match by Chelsea Green, but B-Fab took on Piper Niven. Of course, it ended up being a 2-on-1 kind of match. There's some distractions from Chelsea Green on the outside. Piper Niven took advantage of it, and she beat B-Fab. Then they ganged up on B-Fab after the match. That's when Mi Chin came out with a kendo stick, and she kind of took care of business. So that may set up for a tag team match for next week too. That's what I'm thinking anyway. It'll probably be B-Fab and Mia Chin versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. So that will be something to watch later on as well. Charlotte Flair. There's a short thing announcing that Charlotte Flair is coming back to SmackDown. But possibly will her comeback be during the Royal Rumble? We will see. I'm thinking that's probably when they're going to bring her back and also bring back the Man. So I think both of them will probably, their debuts or their welcome backs will probably be during the Royal Rumble. I would imagine they'll probably announce them one after the other one, so it'd be kind of interesting to see there. I want to see it too, but I don't know who the fourth member would be yet. But I think they might be trying to bring the Four Horsemen back. But of course, one of the Four Horsemen is no longer in the WWE, so maybe they'll add a new member. Time will tell. So Solo Sikoa finally makes his comeback after losing his tribal chief title that he was trying to carry for so long. He was booed. He was booed so loud that he was booed right on out of the area. The fans just booed him out. He didn't say a single word. He just went on about his business like a sorry, sad guy. So who knows what's going to go on there. Then we have Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley. This would be before the last match of the night, I think, between Rey Mysterio, and I think that's how they ended it. But anyway, this was my favorite match of the night. Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley, and I think this one definitely was the top match of the night. At least it was for me. It went both ways throughout the night. Bayley hit some good moves. Stratton hit some good moves. Great match. I think this one definitely had WrestleMania vibes to it. You know, the way they fought each other. This definitely could be a WrestleMania match in the future. Great match to watch. In the end, though, Stratton won the match. It was Tiffy time. She hit her best moonsault ever, or whatever you want to call it, from the top rope. She beat Bayley outright. There was no disqualification or anything like that. So Stratton retains her title. That's her first title defense that she's done since she's got it. So she keeps her title. And now my big question is, with Charlotte Flair coming back, could we in fact see, maybe as a WrestleMania match, who knows, but could we in fact see Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair? I know a lot of people have called that a dream match or whatever in the last couple of years. So could we see, well, basically since Stratton was in NXT, they've been calling that kind of like a dream match or whatever. So could we possibly see Flair versus Stratton? Could that finally happen? Time will tell, but that would definitely be an interesting match. I would definitely want to see that. So, but yeah, that's some good stuff. Other than that, that's pretty much all I've got for this week as far as all of the information goes that I've got that I'm sending off to you all. I know this is going to be a big video, and I've got a lot of editing to do on this, but yeah, I don't know what else I can say. We're still waiting on the snow to melt. I will say that as far as updates around here goes, other than Angela's still on her way back here later on today. We're still waiting on the snow to melt outside. It's been a long work week for me, and hopefully it's going to be another long work week next week too, as far as that goes. I know we still got some of our TV shows that we're looking forward to next week. Of course, Monday is Inauguration Day. So it's Inauguration Day. It's another day for Monday Night Raw, and it's Martin Luther King Day. So I'm kind of looking forward to that one. Not really for Inauguration Day. I could care less. I don't care who the president is. I could care less. It's just another day as far as that goes. But Martin Luther King Day is always kind of fun to remember. It's always fun to kind of remember Martin Luther King, and remember what he stood for. I like Martin Luther King Day for that reason. And like I said, Monday Night Raw, I'm looking forward to that as well. And then the TV shows that we've got to watch. Of course, we're now done with, because we streamed all of Goosebumps, so we're done with Goosebumps now. But I forgot where we're at with the Star Wars. I don't know if that ends, because I haven't watched Star Wars yet. So I will do an update on that one next week. Do an update on Star Wars next week. But yeah, should be an interesting week next week. But I think that's all we got going on for next week. And then the week after, we got the Lunar New Year coming up. So I'm kind of looking forward to that too. So there's that. But I'll just show you all what we got going on outside. So sun is up, but it is cold out there. A lot of the snow is melted, but we are still waiting on more snow to be melted yet. And like I said, it is cold. So I think the snow is there to stay for a little bit longer, because it's not really supposed to warm up again for a little while. So there's a situation. So we're probably going to have another week of snow on the ground. But yeah, that is all I got for y'all though. So I hope y'all enjoyed this really long video. Peace out, and I'll see you on the next video. And just to let you guys know, if you guys do not see a question of the day today or tomorrow, I will try to make up for that on Monday because of my weekend video here. So I got a lot of editing to do and all of that. So like I said, if you do not see, I probably will not post my questions of the day or my Missouri Day of History today, but be on the lookout because I will do some makeup. I will make those up in a video later on. So there is that. That's all I got for y'all, and I'll see you all later. Peace out and bye for now.